Hey, I'm Ray, and welcome to this step-by-step tutorial on using the Transform Tool and Keyframes in After Effects. This tutorial will guide you in importing a video or an image, applying the transform effect, and creating keyframes to animate the effect over time. By the end of this tutorial, you're going to have a basic understanding and how to use the Transform Tool and keyframes in After Effects. So let's get started. Okay, once you open After Effects, it's going to come up to this interface here or workspace, and it's going to show you hands-on tutorials. I recommend doing these, but for now, just click right on New Project. When we do that, it is going to go to the compositions, New Project. Okay, come on, do it. There we go. And here are the new composition you're going to create. So click on you could either click on the box here, or you could go up here to the menu and click on composition and just click new. But let's just click here. So when we click that, it's going to open up the composition settings. Let's just name it first lesson. Oops, learn how to spell, Ray. And I already have it preset. So we're not going to really deal with the settings right now. But next time we'll go more in detail. This is very basic right now. We're going to be focusing again on keyframes and transitions. So not transitions. I'm sorry, transforms. Okay, so right here's a duration. It's at 1 second right now. That's fine. Again, it's just very basic. Frame rate is 2997, which is pretty much a standard, and then the size 19 by 20 by 1080. But you can always go in here and pick another size. That's the size that I like to use. It's an HD size, and I think it's good. Okay, so I'm going to click OK, and let's move to the next step. Now we're going to import the video or image you want to work with. And we do that by going up to the menu bar right on top. And where it says File, you're going to go File, and the scroll down menu is going to come down. You're going to go Import, File. It's going to open up a window, and this is where you're going to find what video you want to use. And what I always do to prepare a project is I create a folder right on my desktop, and then I name it. And once I do that, then I'll find it, and then I'll grab whatever images that I need from it. Anything that I'm going to work on, I'm always going to put it in a folder first, name the folder, and then I'll be able to access it when I go and start creating my project. So I did this already, and I'm going to click right here on the image that I want to use, import. And when I do that, it comes right in here. And there it is right on my project. There's an image that I want to use. So the next step, step 3, is drag the video or image. Well, in this case, it's going to be the image into your composition. So I'm going to go here. I'm just going to left click and just drag it into my composition. It's going to show up, and look, it's kind of small. So we're going to do adjustments to that. All right, so let's do that. Let's select the layer you want to work in. So the layer is down here. You notice that it's not selected yet, but when you click on it, bingo, it's selected. And you can tell that it's selected by these squares that show up and the highlight around the name of the file. All right, so step number 5 is we're going to go to the layer menu right here, select transform. When you click on this, you can click on this little, like a triangle on the edge, click on that, and transform is going to show up. When you do that, you can choose either, and let's click right on this arrow here. You could choose either position or even anchor point, but we'll work on that later. Position, scale, rotation, or opacity. Now let's adjust this image a little bit. Let's use the scale. We're going to click right here and left click and hold down, and we're going to make it larger. So if you left click and you hold down and um, you move your mouse to the right, it's going to grow and it's going to fill up the whole uh, area where the image is showing. There's a couple other things you can do. The position is right here. You click on that. You can move that around. The rotation, you can rotate it. And if it's hard to get back to the right position, just click here and then just on your keyboard, just click 0 and it'll put your right and then enter, put you right in the same position. Opacity, let's mess with that. Fade in, fade out. So that's how you do a fade in and fade out. And that's it. Just by clicking right where the numbers are and left clicking and holding down and then just moving your mouse to the right. Then you'll be able to adjust it. All right, we're going to start working with keyframes. So to create a keyframe, you want to come down to your timeline. This is a timeline. And you want to click on these little stopwatches. When you click on one of these, say for example, let's click on opacity. When we do that, a keyframe is created, and that's when the magic begins. All right, so this is step 8, and we're almost done. We're going to move the playhead to a different point in the timeline and then adjust the effect. So we'll still be working on opacity. So as you can see, the opacity is 100% right now. I'm going to move the playhead. This is the playhead right here. I'm going to just left click and hold. I'm going to move it to all the way to 1 second. It's right here. And you can see the times right here. These are different frames per second, but we won't talk about that just yet because I don't want this to get all confusing. I don't want, again, this is very basic stuff of After Effects, but it's a foundation of creating animation and special effects. All right, so we're at 100% opacity at this keyframe right here. So what I'm going to do is down at this 1 second, we're going to adjust this keyframe to all the way down to 0. We want it to be completely black. So now you have 2 keyframes. You have this keyframe that's set at 0. If I grab the play head and move it back to the front, look at that. There's your keyframe. There's your animation. You just did a fade out. Isn't that awesome? And there you go. Okay, to view the animation, all you have to do is click on your spacebar on your keyboard and you can see it. Isn't that neat? And you did this. So, hey, you're looking like a great animator already. Okay, the final step is for you to practice. Work around with the scale or the rotation, the position, transform tool, and add a little keyframes and just play around. It's very similar to what you just did in the opacity, adding the keyframes and then adding another keyframe and changing the graphic to the beginning and the end. Same thing. That's all you have to do with these other transform tools. So experiment, go for it, and you're going to really get good at this. Oh, fantastic job. You're done. Things to remember. Keyframing is the backbone of motion graphics and visual effects. The more you experiment with keyframing and the transform tool, the more you'll find out the full potential of animation. Well, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, write down there, comment, because I promise you I will respond because nobody's asking questions. All right, thank you so much.